Hi, welcome back to the MemSQL Developer Livestream. We're going to do some really cool things today. We've got our application up. It is able to browse our catalog. We have our admin interface where we're able to log in and modify content in our catalog. And we've got our API that is able to accept requests authenticated from the admin API and unauthenticated from the regular website, and be able to persist and query that data back from the database. That's perfect. We've got some great stuff, but we did leave some lorem ipsum content in the website, and that's not great. So today, let's add some more fields to the database. The cool part about this is we're going to get to add the fields to the database and the API and the admin interface and the application, and watch all of those things go together. Some of our applications have great unit tests, and we'll be able to leverage those to make sure everything works out great. And some of them don't. So we'll get to struggle with that. That's really cool. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to completely skip the concept of database migrations. Because we just have kind of a play database so far, I'm just going to destroy it and start over. Now, that's not great. Let's come back to that next week. And next week, let's specifically talk about database migrations and migrate our database from our old state to our new state. But in this case, I've got my database running in a Docker container. So let's just dump it and start over. And then come back and fix it next week. So we're going to go find all of our lorem ipsum fields. We're going to move those into the database. We're going to make the API query those fields. We're going to get all of our API unit tests to pass. We're going to get the app to leverage those fields. And finally, we'll get the admin interface to leverage those fields so that we can edit and save the content for these new fields. So let's dive in. So here's the product detail screen, and here's the places where we have some lorem ipsum stuff. We have place kitten, image ipsum, for lack of a better term, and that provides us a good product image. In time, it may be neat to have an array of images, but right now we're just using one. And then we have our product description. Well, we also have a description field, which we realize we've started using as a product subtitle. So it looks like we have some fields to grab. Well, we've got a subtitle. Let's make that optional. We've got a description that has HTML in it. We have an image where, here we need an image URL, and a price. We don't have price in here at all. In time, let's build a component so we can quickly modify price. That'll be really cool. Okay, so these are the new fields that we want: subtitle, description, image, and price. Now I've got my database running. Here's my here's our mechanism where we learned how to do that, spinning up MemSQL in a cluster in Docker in 10 minutes. So I've set my I've got my Docker file, Docker Compose file rather. I've set my license key, and I've spun up my database. And not that one. Here's my database, and it's ready to go. Select one. Yep, my database is running. That's cool. Now, next step, what we usually do is we start by importing this setup.sql, and that will create our database, use our database, create our table, and insert data into our table. Well, that's perfect. Let's go add these columns to that. Well, we don't need to create it in here. Oh, here's where we start. Now, we already have a description. We'll make it HTML and optional, but right now let's rename this subtitle. Subtitle varchar 512. Yeah, that's good. It's not null, which means it is optional. That's perfect. Image. Let's say varchar 512. That might be a good spot there. And I'm going to say that this one, should that be optional? Yeah, let's make it optional. Description. I probably don't want to limit it to 512, so let's go head off to the docs and take a look at data types. So when I'm looking at data types here for MemSQL, I have numbers. We'll come back to numbers, date and time, Let's look at text columns. String types. We're getting close. There we go. So we have these different types of text, and based on their max length, we can do really interesting things. Text seems like a good one. It has a max length of 65,000 characters. If we wanted to go up to, huge, we definitely could. But yeah, let's grab text. We'll make this description text, and it can be optional. Price. Let's set price in here. Price. What kind of data type would we like for price? So back up here in the numbers, double is interesting. Double has some great precision to it, but adding double floating point numbers can get to be really interesting, especially in JavaScript. If you add like 0.01 plus 0.02, decimal is probably better for money. And the benefit here is because decimal is base 10, then when we add things together, we won't get that, lots of digits rounding error. So decimal, see note, when you create a decimal, you can give it precision. So here's the number of digits total and the number beyond the decimal. So let's do that. Let's say I want this price to be decimal, and we'll say 10 digits total, 2 digits beyond the decimal. And we're making some assumptions about culture here. So if we did want to price this differently in different markets, then probably we'd want to normalize this to a different spot. But right now, where we just have a single table, I think that's good. And let's say price is not null. Okay, so we've got those 4 columns. When we insert product code name, subtitle, price, image, description, properties. Cool, so we added all of these. Here's that subtitle, price, let's say 12.34, that's a good one. Image, well, here in our lorem ipsum, we grab this image from PlaceKitten. PlaceKitten is a great mechanism for just going and grabbing random stock images, a little bit more friendly than just grabbing a blank image. Okay, so we've got our image. Now we want a description, and this description will have HTML. So this is the initial product in the catalog. And let's add that a few times. We've got properties, we've got active, awesome. So we've inserted our default product into the thing, select star from catalog. Let's yank this test data out, and now let's go load that into place. So back here in MemSQL Studio, I'm going to come in here to the 3 dots, load SQL file, and let's go find that SQL file. It's on the desktop inside live stream. There's that setup.sql. Yes, I would like to override it. Okay, so let's create our database. Let's use that database. Let's create the catalog table. Wow, that worked out well. Let's insert it. Ooh, we've got an error. A SQL error right here. I suspect the problem is, yep, I forgot a comma. I'm going to put the comma there, but I'm also going to put the comma here because, yeah. Okay. So we've got that. Now can we load this? Yes, cool. Let's select star from catalog, and we have our test product together with the HTML inside the description column, the JSON inside the properties column, price is a number. That's perfect. Great. First step unlocked. We've got our database in place. Now next week we're going to talk about database migrations, and that's where we'll start to look at, well, rather than blowing away the database and starting over, how would we migrate the database? Let's set that aside for now though and look at the API. Now the API has a lot of unit tests around it, And that is perfect. So as we're looking at all of the things that we need to grab, we can leverage the unit test to make sure that our system works as expected. Let's go grab all of these columns. Product. Oh, products. When we go get a page of products, we'll want to grab the ID and all of these new columns. Product code name active. Well, maybe. Do we need to add more columns into the product list? Probably not. Probably those are sufficient. Those are the only ones that we're showing. In time, we may want to include price here or maybe picture. Actually, let's go look at the component and see what the component uses. App, source, components, product list. Well, it does use the image, so we do need to grab that. It uses the name and the product code, and that's it. Oh, and the product ID. So I think for now, depending on how generic this needs to be, name, image, that's probably sufficient. Have we changed the parameters we're passing in? Nope, we're still only passing in these parameters. I think that looks great. Product. Okay, here in the product page, this is where we'll do a get, and now we need to definitely return all of the things. As we update, or as we insert rather, we definitely need to insert all of the things. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have product name, I have product.subtitle, product.price, product.image, product.description. Ooh, these fields don't exist on the product yet. Let's come back to that. Okay, so now we do a bunch of things here where we say if it's undefined, make it active. We're doing things here like product.description equals product.description or null because undefined doesn't work so well. So let's pull that out. JSON stringify, we can probably leave that in place. But we'll need to do a similar mechanism for all the other optional things. Product.subtitle, subtitle. What fields did we have optional? Subtitle and description were the two new ones. Okay. Cool. So it might also be helpful to say if product.price is less than 0, I'm going to say less than 0, then this is probably bad. Well, this is getting to be big enough that we probably want to extract this into a method so that we can test it differently. And that'll be really cool. Let's pull this out and let's say export function validate product. And we want to pass in a product that is of type product and do all the things. If product price is less than 0, I'm going to say return false. And so we will say we will return a Boolean, capital B. Now we also might want to do some other things to say like, we did here in the properties, we did a whole lot of validating that the properties are valid. So let's pull that in as well. Where is that? Yeah, there it is. Does the product code match? If so, then that's not okay. Product code. If there's not a name or not a value, this we will do. Ooh, this object values actually needs to go here. Else, let's go validate all of the names and values so that we can say, okay, product.properties. We want a for each on the keys and values. So let's say object.entries. That will give us an array that is the string key and the value. So let's say name value. So we're taking in those two properties. And here we are validating them. So, oh, we haven't pulled in the regex yet. That's okay. This says return false. Else, return true. It's okay. So probably we just want to count the ones that are invalid. So let's say, instead of for each, we'll say filter. And we only want to find the ones that are invalid. So let's say return true if it's invalid and false if it's valid. And now we have a list, an array of invalid things. So that's cool. We just need the length of that. Const invalid props equals if invalid props.length is greater than 0, return false. Okay. Go gadget VS Code. There we go. Nice. Oh, product. Product.product code. Cool. Oh, yes, I haven't returned. So if all of that works, then we're good. So now we have a generic validate product method. Now the cool part is we can unit test this separately to validate that we're doing all of the things. And then whenever we want to validate the product, we can come in here and say, okay, let's get product by ID. Nope. Let's do this. Const valid equals validate product. If not valid, return res.status code. Nope, status 400. And in time, we may want to pass back a list of properties that are invalid, but that's a good way to just validate all of the things. Okay. So we've validated all the things. We're still getting errors because our type doesn't match. So let's go do that. Let's go look at our product type. Product type definition. Okay, so we have a product code. We have the name. We don't have these other fields yet. Subtitle, description, image, and price. So description is string or null, and it's also now optional. Name is not optional. Subtitle is optional and it is a string or null. Image is a string and that can't be null. Price is a number and not null. Okay, so now we have a more complete definition of our product. That's perfect. Back in the product route in our API. Okay, so we select all the things. Ooh, let's go select all the things. There's all the things. Get products. This is the products page, not the product page. Okay, in the product page. Okay, insert. We're inserting all the things, and we know we validated them or cast them in this other method. And now this method works out perfectly. Validate product. In time, let's write better unit tests around that. Okay, update. We want to update all of these fields. Product code, name, subtitle, equals something, price equals something, image equals something, description, properties, perfect. So now we have more things. Name, product dot subtitle, product dot price, product dot image, product dot description, perfect. Product, oh, haha, comma. Okay, perfect. Now we can say, let's go grab our validation logic, which is pretty sweet. There. Now one of the things that we're doing, update catalog where ID is this, it might be interesting for us to say product.id equals ID. Since we're grabbing all the other parts of the product from the body, but we're grabbing the ID from the query string, then that's a good thing to do. We'll do that here as well. Product.id equals, nope, we don't have an ID yet. ID is 0. And down here, we grab the ID and we return it, but we're not returning the product. So the fact that it's wrong is probably okay. Okay, update product does all of the updates. We go set all of the things. We've passed in these because we're validating the description up here in our validate method and casting it to null if it was undefined. Then that's perfect. Delete. Delete is actually really cool because we don't need all of the extra things. We're just passing in the ID and a force variable. And so that's perfect. Problem solved. Now we have a whole bunch of unit tests here that validate both the unit and end-to-end tests to see if our API is working as expected. So let's do npm run lint. That will give us a first run to see, oh, we don't have that. npm run test unit. Let's get a first run, ooh, npm run test. Is that right? I believe in here we didn't separate the end-to-end tests and the unit tests. We just have just run both of them because it's not like we're launching Cypress. But that is interesting. Oh, pre-build. Okay, so there's our lint command. Let's do this. Lint, and then pre-build will be npm run lint. Okay. Now we have a lint command. npm run lint. Cool. Any typos? Now we have updated TypeScript since we've run this project last, so it's not unexpected. Ooh, I did that one wrong. We should change that from Boolean to Boolean here in our types product. Oh, that's lowercase. Where did I do it? Product.ts, line 7. Product.ts, line 7. This should be number. And this one is in routes product.ts, line 15. So let's go look at that. Line 15. This should return Boolean like that. Okay, cool. npm run lint. How we doing? Did that pass? It did. Cool. npm run test. Now this will run both the unit tests and the integration tests. All else being equal, it'd be nice to separate those two. But the way we wrote these tests, they're all just in the jest test set. So yeah, let's just run them both and see what happens. I love that this will go validate all of the methods. It'll go run all of our APIs. It'll go insert data into our database, validating that not only did we get the SQL right, but we also got the JavaScript, the TypeScript right as well. Okay, so it looks like here we have one error. We're missing some data in our mocks. Product route, product spec, line 55. Okay. End-to-end route, product spec, TS, line 55. Test, end-to-end routes, product spec, line 55. I bet we're going to declare a product and we're not going to fill in all of the fields. Yes. So we have this. Here's our subtitle. We have oh, nope, that's right. Name is this. This is subtitle. We also need price. We need an image. Let's go grab that lorem kitten. That's not it. There we go. We could do an invalid image in our test, but let's do a valid one instead. We'll do a small one, so 100 by 100. There's our image, and we want a description. This product created by a test. Subtitle, price, image, description. Yep. Now we've done all of the things. Okay, not that one, that one. npm run test. Let's go run all those tests again and see if we've got the got all the things running as expected. Four. Ooh. What are we missing? We missed one. Image and price. Product spec. This one is missing image and price as well. Oh, haha. Save. Here in our fixture, create product. I'm going to say that instead of calling it create product, because we may need to create other things, let's call this product create. Product create. Yes, let's update all the imports. Now, in this product create, we have similar things where we're creating the thing. It almost seems like we need a create a empty product method. Let's go build that, because that would be cool. Product create. This is create product, and this is export default async function. Actually, this one won't be async. Let's say fake product. Now, do we want to pass in the product code? I think we do. So let's do product code, and then we can use product code there. Return product. Cool. Actually, we could even just, let's leave it there. This returns a product. Oh, and not default. Okay, so fake product. And I'm going to say this one is save fake product. And now, because we're going and building a product this way, we can just say fake product and pass it in product code. Cool. Here in our product.spec, we can say fake product. Now we did pass in a product code, so let's do that. Fake product needs a product code. Here's our product code. And awesome. Are we? Yeah, let's do this. Const product code equals this. That'll just make it explicit what we're doing there. We haven't imported fake product. Let's see. Yep. Fake product. That is perfect. And I bet we need to modify these. Yep. Now, because we're not exporting default, we'll import the named thing. Create product. Did we call it something different? Save fake product. Yes. Save fake product. We'll go there and there. Cool. npm run lint. Let's just double check. Oh, haha. It's also double check that we saved. We did not. Save all. There we go. npm run lint. That worked great. npm run test. Let's go flex all of our API pieces, all of the methods, all of the mechanisms around this. 19 passed. Go, 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 go. Ooh, one fail. Okay, should delete a product. Expect received to be truthy, and what we got back was undefined. That is interesting. Oh, this is interesting too. The price that we got back is a string instead of a number. It looks like our get method isn't casting things correctly. Well, that's fine. Let's come in here to product. And we'll probably need to do this in products as well. In our get, okay, there's insert, create product, get by ID. Okay, so const product of type product equals rows 0. Okay, so instead of rows 0, let's return product. Okay, so we did this force cast here, and it's going to tell us, no, it isn't. So we'll probably have to say as product. Now, technically what I'd like to do here is instead of a row data packet array, I would like to say that it is a product array, and I realize I am completely lying. So, yeah, that's not a thing. But we may come back to that in time. You know, something like as product array, or, you know, yeah, that'll be interesting. But for now, let's just force it into a product. And now let's say product.active equals not product.active, and product.price equals JavaScript hack product.price. Because we're adding something to it, it's going to cast it as a number, and so now that should work out as expected. We'll probably need to also do this in the product list if we're returning the price. Now, right now we aren't yet, but I can see that being a case. So let's say, let's cast it into 0 just in case. Perfect. We probably also want to document that we're not returning all the things, or have a different method that returns everything, or yeah, this API may bite us in time. Okay. So that did that, but also, what did we get back out? When we did, oh, we don't have a test product yet. That's probably why. npm run test. What we're looking for is we're looking for a product with a particular name, and we're going to go modify that product. Probably in this test, we need to refactor it in time to actually go create a fake product instead. Now our test is a little bit more atomic. It does pollute our database a little bit more when running this test, but it's not too bad. Okay, so we received a 500 when we went to go modify a product. That is new. Why did we receive a 500? I would have loved to have gotten more detail out of this, but we can do this. Let's, right now we're looking at the entire thing. So let's do a new VS Code instance out of here just on the API, and let's go debug that API. Open with code. Oh, that's the test one. API, open with code. Ooh, I bet we're not updating, we're not passing in enough fields. Let's see. So I would love to capture the actual data that we're passing in and jump in, but because this is in the middle of supertest and it's like supertest launching both sides and the debugger isn't necessarily attached to both sides, then this may get weird. So create product, update product, and if this takes a bit, we may just jump out and I'll solve this offline. Okay, here's our update. So I suspect that we're getting an error right here. Let's put a breakpoint right here and let's fire up our debugger. API. Let's go kill our dist folder just in case. Make sure it rebuilds the everything and run. Postman. Now right now we're updating all the fields and we may want to allow for partial updates. That'll be an interesting thing. So perhaps we don't want to update it if that field isn't there. Okay, firing up Postman. Postman will allow us to fire put requests at this update mechanism. But we'll need to log in first to do so. This may take some doing. Is it updating? Preparing your workspaces. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to say, let's turn off authentication in this for now, just so that we don't have to futz with it later. I'm really glad that we have a test that will validate that authentication is in place. So we're about to make that fail. But this will allow us to test it without having to get all of our auth headers into place. Okay, Postman. Postman, you're still taking time. That is interesting. Postman may not be the tool. We haven't launched Postman in a little bit, so ooh, the errors. What is this doing? Debug console. Oh, it's in the middle of running unit tests. That might be why it's having difficulty starting up. Let's kill it and start it again. Okay. Go, 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 go. Oh, I bet it's noticing that that auth test is failing. That's pretty cool. Because we're getting a 500 and not a 404 or a 400, I know that it's probably an error in our code or in our SQL. And so that's where I think we want to look. This is still starting up. Oh, it's still building. Building, running tests. Okay, now we're debugging. Nice. Postman! Postman! Postman, I think you're stuck. This may take a few minutes. Postman should start up right away. That is so silly. So another way for us to do this is with Fiddler. Fiddler is a great way to fire requests at an API. And Fiddler is kind of that in-between spot between Wireshark and Postman, where you can create some interesting things and craft HTTP requests in interesting ways. So, because Postman is dying, let's kill this. Close window. And we want to do a GET request to HTTP localhost 3000, and we'll say API/products 0. Okay. Now Postman starts. That's awesome. Ooh, that might be also doing some interesting things. Let's switch back to Postman now that it's up. Okay, so we want to do a put against API product 127. I don't think product 127 is a thing, so let's do product list, and let's see what products that we have. That'll allow us to make some better choices. Okay, so here's product ID 2. Now let's do a get by ID of product ID 2. That will allow us to get the full product. Oh, not found. Oh, yes, because when I'm getting by product code. So here's that one. In time, we may want to make get by ID work. That could be fun. Here's our full product. Okay. Put. We want to update, and we want our body to be that. We'll say our ID is 2. Now, we're not changing anything in this case, and that's totally fine. Send. And we hit our breakpoint. Perfect. Ooh. We're in the middle of debugging our thing. Did we get invalid properties? We did not. Okay. Our previous breakpoints were going awry. Okay, so update catalog, set all the things. And it looks like we're getting, result. Result.affected rows is 1. So that worked. So I would say that that would succeed. That is very interesting. And what did we get back? Headers, we got a status code 200. I want to say that that might be a flaky unit test. npm run test. Go, 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 go. Ultimately, this will mean that our save will do bad things if this test doesn't pass yet, but let's move on. Oh, now we have 2 failed tests. We're getting that 500, and I wish it would tell me more, and we're also not getting authentication details. Let's go put that back. So up here at the top, we do want to re-enable our authentication. I'm so glad that we have that test that will validate that. And I will take it offline of what went wrong. Let's go quickly look at this and see if the if it stands out. not there. Routes, product, validate product. Yeah, that's going to be fun. If not valid, insert. Okay. Oh, haha, yes. I didn't pull the null out. That's okay. If not valid. Okay, so here's our update statement. Did we get something wrong? Some nulls, although I would expect that we have fixed all those by now. So that is interesting. I wish that the tests would output the server-side console output, but they're just doing that. So, you know, we just get the, we got a 500, but not what the error was in the 500. We're also not doing a great job doing error handling, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll just set that one aside for now. I know that's a problem, and I'll definitely fix it, and we'll do that first thing next time. But let's take a look at other things. So, close to the right. Perfect. Moving on to our app, we want to go use these additional properties in our product detail component and our product list component. Here in our product list component, the only thing that we're really doing is we're grabbing the image here. So let's say product.image, and we're binding to it. So let's do the colon. And I think that's the only thing we need to do in the product list. Now here we do have Storybook, and so we could fire those up. That would be really helpful. We also have some unit tests that can help us validate this, which will work out real well. So now let's say this is product.image. And then here we want to do product.description. And this is no longer product.description. This is product.subtitle. Where do we want to put the price? Product.price. That's not a great place, but it'll do for now. Okay, so that's probably all the mods that we need to do in this app. Let's start up our API, npm run start. In our app, we have both unit and end-to-end tests. And so let's get a sense of how we did there. npm run lint. Go, 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 go. Running the unit test would be really interesting. Oh, it looks like our API is on its way up. Yep, there's our API ready to go. Running our unit tests also is pretty intense, but since we haven't run it in a while, we may also find some other fails. Ideally, we would have an automated build, and so all of the check-ins that we did before would run all of our tests. Yeah, let's come back to a DevOps pipeline. I'm going to close this. Looks like we have some CPU things going on. That's totally fine. Ooh, yes. So one of the things that we do need to do here, types product. Our product type is stale. Let's go find the product type here in our API and copy that new product type into all the things. So we'll grab it here in our admin interface. We can put the source types product. Here is that product here. Now, one of the things that we noticed was it wanted the properties to be of type record string. record string string. So let's do that again. Okay, now we've got it set in our interface, or in our admin experience. Let's also put it in our app. There. And that's probably the linting errors that it was mad about, because it wants it to be record string. And it was probably also going to tell us about those new properties that it didn't know about, the price and the image and the other things that we bound to the UI. No linting errors. Great. npm run test. This will fire up both our unit tests and our integration tests and validate that they work. Now, one of the assumptions of our integration tests is that we have a running API. So as we get ready for doing a DevOps pipeline, we'll definitely either need to stub out that API, or even better, spin up the API at the beginning of our Cypress test. Now, we're not doing that yet, but that would be a really, really cool thing. At that point, then the question is, well, if we've got a mono repo, the mono repo may not allow us to, or the mono repo would allow us to just reach into the other project. If we don't have a mono repo, maybe we need to point our tests at a different instance, like git clone the other repository, and that can get kind of involved. Okay, looks like we have our first set of errors. That's great. In product list.spec, let's go look there. Tests, unit, components, product list.spec. I'm presuming it's components. Yep. Okay. Product list.spec. Now here we're creating this interface. We could cast it as, because, just doing the thing, but let's do this. Subtitle is test. Price is 12.34. Image HTTP. Let's go grab that lorem kitten again. Lorem kitten. There's that. Product list. Product list. Image is that, but let's also use the small again. 100 by 100. And our description is HTML. That's great. Now we do this twice, and we specifically call out that the particulars of this object are not important. We're just satisfying the interface. But as it is an integration test, let's give it all of the values that we need. In product detail, it's missing image and price. Missing image and price, product list, and product detail. Let's go look at product detail. Product detail. Yes, here's some more places where we have some test data that's not important. It almost feels like we're getting to the point that we need a fixture that will allow us to go craft the thing like we did in the API. Let's not in this case, but let's do that when the time comes. npm run test. I love that we have these unit tests that will allow us to validate all of our changes. We haven't fired up the storybook stories yet, but we do have unit tests that will go double check all of the pieces and allow us to just ensure that anything that we've changed works as expected. It's really fun because now we can ruthlessly refactor and we don't have to worry about breaking functionality. Yes, all of our tests passed. That is cool. Oh, those were all of our unit tests. Now let's run all of our integration tests. Our integration tests were what failed last time. So let's kick this off. I love this. Cypress is running in the background now, and it's starting a headless Chrome to go run all of our integration tests in that headless Chrome. So this will work just fine in a DevOps pipeline as well, because there isn't any buttons to click or anything. But if this fails, we'll go take a look at the videos that it created as it built the test and see if that helps us understand more of why the test failed. This is really cool. Using one worker. Okay, go, 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 go. Oh, this is cool. So while this is running, the next step that we'll need to do is to take a look at our admin interface. Now, our admin interface, we don't have the test set up, so it's going to be more difficult to make changes here. If we did have a suite of tests, then we would have much more confidence that what we were doing wouldn't break things. So we do have this. We have the product list, and it just dumps out all the things. There aren't really any changes that we need here. The thing that it's grumpy at is it doesn't like that vSlot has is a named slot. It sounds like my Vue plugin is a little bit out of date. But where the magic happens is here in the product detail. So here in the product detail, we have fields for the product code, the name, the description. We don't have the new fields, so let's go do that. We'll say product subtitle, and it is capped at 512 characters. Let's go double check that in our schema. Yep, the subtitle is capped at 512. The image is also capped at 512. I'm going to close to the right and file up again because that was so far away. Product detail. Oh, okay. Product detail. So subtitle is 512. It will have the subtitle rules, and it is the subtitle. It is not required. Description also is not required, and it no longer has a counter. In time, we'll go modify that to be a little bit different as well, but let's get these in place. Image will have the image rules, and this is the product image, and price. Price will have the price rules. Now, this price, we will have a type of number, and that will allow us to make numeric things. So we've got subtitle rules, price rules, image rules, and description rules. Subtitle rules. Subtitle. We're almost to the point where it makes sense. Maybe we're past the point where it makes sense to go modify these things. Description, price. Price is required. So let's go grab this. And price, we want to convert this to a number. Price must be positive. So if price is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, I'm also going to say, V. I'm also going to say it is a number. So let's say is not a number. Parse float v. This is getting messy. Price must be positive. Okay. Actually, let's do the price must be a number separately. Our input type equals number should get us there, but validating this is really helpful. Okay, so price must be a number, and now we can just go validate that it's positive, casting it to a number, because if it's not a number, we'll catch that there. Okay, image rules. Image is required. Image is required, and we want to validate that it's a URL. Image must be a URL. Oh, we do need a length there too. So let's go grab this. Description now doesn't have any rules. That's okay. Image must be a URL, and so let's say v.index of https equals 0. Okay, that's not a true test of is it an image, but that'll get us started. That's pretty cool. How did our test turn out? Ooh, all of our tests passed. That's perfect. So our app works just fine. So we've got this all ready to go. Let's fire it up and see how it works. Here in our app, npm run lint. Is there anything that we need to fix with typos? Go, 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 go. We're so close. This is so cool. Tell us about your typos. No typos. npm run serve. Now, next I want to run npm run test, but we don't have tests in this project. So, bummer. Oh, we're still running Node 14.7. Node 14.8 has a top level await for has top level await unflagged, and so in time let's upgrade to Node 14.8 and take that for a spin. That'll be pretty cool. Because we're using TypeScript, that's probably less of a concern with us. We already had that feature in place, but yeah, we'll see. We've still got our API running, so that's great. Here's our app running. We're compiling. I think it's funny when both numbers go up. I grant that it's discovering the modules as it goes, but it's also really interesting to say, well, which side is going up? Am I making progress? Yes, almost there. Go, 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 go. Yes, nice. Okay, so let's go off to our app. Localhost 5000. Now, first thing we need to do, we need to log in. Let's definitely wire that up to an actual login when we get ready. But now let's fire up our test product. Okay, so we've got this. Oh, it's just showing HTML. That's kind of a bummer. Let's modify this with an HTML input. And it'd be fun to see what this image looked like. We have this kind of experience. Let's see if we can put that image over there. Okay, so in our product, in our properties rather, we used a slot inside of our text field to be able to append something after. Let's do that. Here inside the image field, let's append something after. Now what we're going to append is image source equals, well, let's bind this, source equals product.image. Yes, that's a injection point if we wanted to. Class equals product image. So we probably want to do that a little bit safer. vcard. Let's put a little border around it just so that we can see. vcard. And now here inside this product image, let's say product image is max height of 45 pixels. Cool. So now it should rebuild nicely. It looks like it is either done or I need to retrigger it. Oh, yes, there we go. That's cool. Now we do have a border around it a little bit, or perhaps the border is in here. Let's see. Padding 0. Nope, that didn't do it. Margin 0. Nope, that didn't do it. Where did that go? Admin. Let me go dig into my notes because I recall hitting this and going, you know. So let's go see what the magic property was. Ah, yes. Display block. There we go. I think it was display inline or display flex or something like that. But that's what will get us there. Cool. So display block. Cool. We've now got this in place. And so as we modify this, we can take a look at the kitten that we've got. Now, if it's super wide, it's possible that bad things could happen there. It could get too wide, but I think I'm going to live with that for now. Next up, we'd really like this to be an HTML editor. So, oh yes, we do need to do that. That'll be fun. So Googling for it, best WYSIWYG rich text editor. Let's try Quill Editor. View Quill Editor. So View Quill Editor, I've already npm installed View Quill Editor. And so now here inside this product.description, where is that? Description, there it is. Let's go grab a View text editor. Now in the docs for View text editor, that's not it. View text editor. Yeah, in the docs on GitHub, it talks about how we need to pull it in. So first step is npm install it. That is done. Next, we need to import some CSS and the editor itself. We will want to export this as another component. And now when we're ready to do the editor, here we will have Quill Editor. Let me go find my notes, make sure I've got this in place. Yep, Quill Editor vModel equals product.description. Description. There we go. vModel product description. Let's see, do we need to recompile it or will it pick that up automatically? Yes. 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 There we go. So here's our HTML editor, and we can make it bold, and we can make it underlined, and we can make it strike through, and we can make this one heading 3, and we can kind of format it the way we want. Now, one of the things is we can, add images and movies, and so in time we probably want to customize this toolbar. And one of the things that it allows us to do really elegantly is do exactly that. So, for example, Here's one with just a minimized minimal toolbar. Here's one with just these buttons. And so we can kind of tweak that in time to match the business rules that we have. And so now we've got an HTML editor. That's perfect. We don't need this field anymore. Let's go yank that back out. Description rules now is unneeded, and we had that empty anyway. It doesn't have a max length. And now description is bound to what we have it bound to. Well, now when I save, I am pushing up HTML, and I want to validate that that HTML doesn't have scary stuff in it. In a similar way that, if I said /something.js, that would just go execute, and that would be bad. I don't want this HTML to go execute. So on our server, let's go pull up, here's Sanitize Html. And Sanitize HTML is a great library that can do exactly that. I can pass in some bad JSON or bad HTML, and Sanitize HTML will go pull that back out and just give me the tags that I want. Another cool thing is I can specify which tags that I want, so we can then validate that they didn't push random buttons we didn't expect. By default, the list of tags that it allows is here, and so it very specifically doesn't include images, and so we've kind of saved ourselves that way because we'll strip the images back out as we save. Cool. So this one doesn't give us an HTML5 mechanism for importing, or ES6 mechanism rather, but let's just go do that here in our API. In our product, we can say, okay, let's import Sanitize HTML from Sanitize HTML, and let me go double check that I'm importing that correctly. Digging through my notes. Routes, product. I think it might export default. Yes, it does export default. Okay. I believe it does have TypeScript bindings though, and so that's really helpful. Here then, as we're validating all of the things, we can say product description or null, and we can say, well, let's sanitize, actually let's split this out. If product.description, then I want to say product.description equals Sanitize HTML, product.description. Else, then I want to do this product.description equals null. Perfect. So now we can't get invalid HTML content injected into our system. That was perfect. And we're doing this server side so that if we find a different client that's authenticating, we'll validate that as well. Let's restart our API. npm run start. Let's start our front end too, by the way. And now our API is able to, or our admin interface rather, let's log in. Nope. I can't wait for the day that we get to do that piece. Ooh, invalid email. I bet the API is still starting up. Let's double check. Oh, cannot find module sanitize HTML. I don't think I did import that. npm install sanitize HTML. Oh, I know why, because it's sanitize -HTML, not sanitize uppercase HTML. Haha. Fail on me. Let's go back to the product here and import it correctly. There we go. npm run serve. Nope, npm start. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our API running, and we've got our app running, our admin interface. Now the unfortunate part is Vue Quill Editor has no TypeScript definitions at all. So we don't really know what to do with that. Well, what it says is, let's declare module Vue Quill Editor. And at the very least, now it'll say, hey, I know that I don't know what that is, but I know that it is a thing. So let's come in here into shims.vue.ts, and let's just say declare module Vue Quill Editor. It's now a module. TypeScript now knows it's a thing. Well, kind of. TypeScript knows that it's something, but doesn't know what type of thing it is. Oh, did my API not start up correctly? Oh, maybe my API did. Let's start this again. Okay, so our app is running on port 4000. Let's go check that out while we've got a minute. 4000. Now, one of the things that we did was we grabbed our product list. There's our test products. That's perfect. Ooh. It's not rendering this HTML. It's actually escaping it. Now, that is on purpose. Vue will help us with this to make sure that our content is safe. So let's go look at this. Now, if we have HTML and we want it to be raw, then we have to do it kind of like this. We need to say v-html equals to a particular tag. We can't just do the curly braces. So let's come back in here and take a look at that in the app. We'll go look at our product detail component. And now instead of just dumping in the product description, we know that we need to say div v-html equals product description. v-html, did I remember that incorrectly? Yes, v-html equals raw HTML. And we're going to bind that, so let me go double check that I got that right. Source, components, v-html. Nope, I don't bind it this way. I just do it like this. Did I spell description incorrectly? Oh, I forgot the quote there. There we go. Now it will render that correctly. So let's refresh this page. Yep, there we go. So there's our content rendered correctly into the page. Here's our image associated with the page. And we saw that we did have the real image here in the product catalog as well. That's really cool. Now our admin interface is up as well. Let's go hit that. We'll go to 5000, log in. Let's go hit our test product. We have that HTML editor, and we have a way to view images. This is cool. So in this episode, what was really cool was we got to do all of the editing in all of the layers to add these additional fields. We added the data to the database, or added the new columns to the database. We added the columns to the APIs in all the places that needed them. We used our unit tests to validate that our system would work correctly, and that worked out really, really well because in places where our APIs misbehaved, we were able to catch those errors before we got those released into production and had failing services. We updated our app to use those new fields instead of the lorem ipsum content. And we updated our admin interface to be able to edit the content, editing images and also editing HTML. Now we did take one liberty and we just destroyed our database and started over. Really what we want to do is we want to migrate our database to be able to keep track of customer data. We don't want to lose customer data when we make changes like this. So join us next week as we do a database migrations mechanism. Database migrations, where we take our schema and we migrate it to a new state to add these additional fields. This was a lot of fun. Leave comments below, and join us next week for the next MemSQL developer livestream.